It had been a long, hard struggle against Napoleon, and the casualties of war were many. It's easy to forget the number of prisoners of war taken on both sides. About 7,500 people were held prisoner here in Valleyfield alone between 1811 and 1814. Some were young, aged between 9 and 16. Others were over 60. Some had their wives with them when they were taken. Most were alone and far from their families. They were kept in paper-making sheds. One prisoner described his experience later. It was terribly cold. There were no windows, no warmth, no fruit, but the cabbages were very large. Inevitably, some of the prisoners died. In 1830, Alexander Cowan, who owned Valleyfield Paper Mills, gave most of the money towards this memorial. It commemorates some 300 prisoners who never saw their native land again and lie buried close by. To try and prevent this act of kindness being known, he enlisted a local watchmaker to give 5 shillings towards the cost, so that the monument could be attributed to certain inhabitants of the parish desiring to remember that all men are brethren. A history of Penicuik says of Cowan, the money he spent in works of love and kindness exceeded all his other expenses of a personal and family nature. The Gospel, as told by Mark, tells of an act of love and kindness sandwiched between 2 accounts of hatred and betrayal, the plot to arrest Jesus and the story of Judas agreeing to hand Jesus over. An anonymous woman disturbs a dinner party and pours an expensive jar of perfume on Jesus' head. Maybe she sees in him what no one else has seen, the shadow of his approaching death. The value of the perfume reflects the value of her love for Jesus. Some people are angry and find fault with what she's done. This perfume could have been sold for more than a year's pay. The money could have been given to poor people. However, Jesus defends her. She has done a beautiful thing to me. You'll always have poor people with you. He doesn't mean by that there will always be poverty and there's nothing you can do about it. But rather, you can help poor people anytime you want to. If we have the resources, we have the opportunity to use them for the good of others and not just ourselves. The whole Bible shouts out that message loud and clear. She did what she could, Jesus says. It was an act of love and devotion to him, and this beautiful deed, although we don't even know her name, is told in her memory wherever the good news is proclaimed. That good news, that gospel, goes beyond what we can do for God and for others. It's about what God has done for us in sending Jesus. We can have peace with God, and we can know God's peace ourselves. I think that made such a difference to the woman that she just had to express it through what she did. If you'd like to know more about the good news of Jesus, you'll find it in the Bible, or you can watch the other videos in this series or the online services on YouTube. You can find out what's going on in the Penicuik churches on this website, penicuikchurchestogether.org.uk, which has links to our Facebook and YouTube channels.